Morning everyone, Paul Duncan here with GammaEdge. Today is Monday, the 16th of May. Go ahead, pause your player, please read this. Important to you, important to us. As everyone probably knows, we had a one-day rally on Friday where we saw the net negative gamma drop and in some instances the net positive gamma increase. Indicates some closure of puts, some monetization. I will state though, we're not seeing a huge increase on the call side. Typically, if we're going to see a sustained bull, we want to see more growth here on the right-hand side, and we're not getting that yet. Here are the Qs, and here's the IWM. IWM moved up just marginally. The Qs not even appreciably. So just be aware of that we could see some monetization, and so be aware of the the potential for some downside here. Taking a look at the near-term expiries, we're between the goalposts, and what that typically means is that when you are between the goalposts, we have not a lot of pressure to move one way or the other. Here's the zero for the IWM, and you can see we're very close. The zero is above this inverted structure that we have in the Qs, and I think that's fairly important also. And you can see that we're between the dominant positive side and the negative side. Note the inverted structure going into today. Here on the SPY, we're just above that 400 level. If we lose 400, then we're in this no man's land here. We'll see some monetization most likely as people get the sense that they will lose their profits here, and that could actually push us downward. And same thing here in the SPX. You can see that we're sitting almost right at a zero here between the two dominant levels here. And when we have that, again, there's not a lot of pressure to go one way or the other. We tend to move with daily flows, intraday flows, and the 0DTE flows. Taking a look at the gamma history, across the board, I would call this short-term bearish. We did see to a certain extent that negative GEX has moved up to 400. When that occurs, we have an anticipation of some downside participation. The positive GEX, which is the dominant gamma, has moved back up to 450, excuse me. And when we see that they're not in close proximity, the zero is unbalanced or is balanced here, hasn't done anything. The short-term move up here in minus gamma basically says there are people who are anticipating a short-term drop and are going to take advantage of that. Same thing here on the Qs. Basically, we did move back up against that POI. Remember, we typically don't remain below POI longer than 5 days, and true to form, on the 5th day, we did come back up here, unlike what has happened over here in IWM, by the way. The fact that we're above this and that minus GEX is at 300 means that folks are probably going to participate in any downside movement. Again, not seeing a lot here in the way of upside positioning, mostly downside positioning. Over here on IWM, we were thinking there was some bullish things developing, but in general, not really seeing an aggressive move to take advantage of an upside movement here. COI remains constant. The zero has not changed. Positive GEX has not dropped. We're not seeing a lot of anticipation by the market for this to move up aggressively. And so these are all in the money, and you can see on Friday we're below the put open interest dominance, and a short-term short-term GEX, excuse me, negative gamma is sitting right here. Also, when that occurs, these people are in the money, and we may see some monetization which could drive us north, but in general, not a lot of longer-term bullishness across any of these. Taking a look at the flows, we had a huge amount of net negative premiums coming in on the SPY midday. When I look at another tool that I have with Black Box, it appears that this was a strangle that went in, or a straddle, excuse me, that went in at 450 for short-term June expiry. So these folks are betting to a large extent. It went in at the ask, puts on at the ask, so it looks like these folks are betting that we're going to be dropping here, hence why we see this huge move up and huge drop in the overall stance for the SPY. The Qs, we had basically a monetization of calls all day long. Puts were flat, net negative overall. And in IWM, we actually had an increase in puts, a decrease in the calls, giving us that overall net negative here. So bearish across the table, as we said with the histories. Market model, day one, continuation up. We need to see another continuation pattern today. I don't think we're going to get it, but we'll see what how we turn out here. Overall, the long-term downtrend is intact. And so, the counsel that we have here is don't get out over your skis. I'm still looking to short any major rips to the upside until we prove otherwise. I think the trend is mixed at best. The SPX, we've had a number of the zeros drop down. Read the descriptor that's here. It's going to be important just to understand that these continue to drop, which indicates calls being closed, puts being open, and all above spot price here. And so until we can get to a point where we can push through these, we do not anticipate any aggressive move upwards. Same thing on the ES. Basically, we've got the structure's more or less stable. We did have the VIX dropping again overnight session here. We've got this dominant Livermore level sitting here at 4,000. That is coincident with negative trends as well as negative GEX, and I think when we see that, this is a huge level for the ES. This is for the June expiry, by the way. So 4,000 would be more or less the line in the sand as we continue to go forward, even though obviously the futures are not a huge driver of the market, but they are indicative because they are a single expiry and they give us a good glimpse of what the market is pricing between now and mid-June. Taking a look at the 0 DTE, extremely weak level on the expiry, so not expecting a lot here. Just note that it is negative, weak. When we take a look here, the upper level of the expected move, you can see where the dominant positive expiry is today at 4,200. No chance of getting up there as far as I'm concerned. We may push upwards towards this in some rally attempt. I doubt very seriously we can get above 4150, let alone the 4125. You can see that from where we are right now, the 4050 level, we've got a number of positive gamma levels here. It's going to be tough to plow through this, and we could certainly park in any one of the zeros or these low levels that we see here. To the downside, 3950 would be a downside target. We do have a transition, the last transition point, so this would be minus trans here at 3960. A natural parking spot would also be down here, and you can see it's fairly loose below us all the way on down. Virtually no chance of breaking through 3950, but if we do, I think we stop well above the 3900 level that you see here. Taking a look at the overall SPX structure, it's terrible in general. Just it's loose. We've got these spikes that are in here. It's going to be back and forth, back and forth. 4100 to the upside. You can see visually where we are. 3023 here, and then you can see the downside structure has moved up from 37 back to 39. It only spent a day or two down here at 37 and has pushed north. So we've got a lot of support to the downside. Doubt we're going to crash to the upside. Doubt we're going to push aggressively higher. Expiration today, very weak all the way. We've got 6 expiries. We've got 2 sitting here on Friday. Thursday's last trading day, of course. AM settles on Friday morning. The PM settles obviously Friday afternoon, and you can see the PMs actually settle here. So we've got 6 total that are coming up this week. Virtually no pressure whatsoever. This lack of change in moneyness that we may experience will offer more Vanna and charm dominance of the second order Greeks than anything. Taking a look at the SPX combo, this is the AM and PM settled. We don't add the SPY into this. Still an extremely large downside possibility here in terms of the net negative gamma. Well hedged. We could plow back into this. You can see the expected move is still quite elevated at over at 4%. COI still sitting here at 4,000 with POI, so we have this huge dominance of the 4,000 at the Livermore level, and with some very strong gamma sitting there. Down here at 3,900, you can still see a lot of net delta as well as net gamma here also. Up to the upside, 4,100 is still the upside. I don't think we're going any higher in this into the close until this resolves itself and clears and is made smaller. You can see the gamma level here as well as the net delta dollars that are sitting here, the notional dollars. So all in all, I think we just stay drifting in this particular region here with some definite bookends as we move up and down within the overall structure. So the summary for today, the cumulative gamma wing charts are showing a drop in the negative side, but not an increase on the positive side. And with that, I don't think that we're going to see a lot of upside movement here. I think we're going to see a lot of churning. The expiries are more or less weak. As you saw, we're between the goalposts. When we have that, we don't have a lot of pressure, and that actually opens up the door for the second order Greeks. Everyone talks about Vanna and Charm as being the dominant, but there's also Voma and a few others in there that will matter with the deltas. That could offer a grind upwards, but again, I don't think we go much higher than over the week until 4,100 or up until 4,100. The elevation in the expected move is still high, so we think volatility will be there. There will be periods of knee-jerk reactions in the market. Even though the VIX has dropped in the overnight session, which is good. And remember, we have 6 expiries this week, and we now start every day having an SPX PM expiry. So that's it for today. If you liked what today's content contained, come join us at GammaEdge.us. That'll take you to a Discord sign-up page. Once you're there, that'll get you into the Discord. 14-day free trial. All the tools turned on, and a great group of traders there. Come and learn how to apply this to your trading. Follow us on Twitter at GammaEdges with an S, please. And then here on YouTube, of course, if you like today's content, hit that like button and subscribe so you get notified the next time we post something. So thanks, everyone. Make it a great Monday. Make it a great week, and we'll see you in the Discord.